Traditionally, out here in the bay where we're next to today was Bunurong country, and originally was a valley that the Yarra River used to flow out through, and men would go out hunting emu and hunting roo and wallaby. There was a point in time along the way where Bunurong people were taking a little bit more than they needed. Taking too much tucker, not eating all of that tucker, and not maintaining their inter-mob relationships. The Bunurong had lost their way, the story goes, and Bunjil was upset at this, Bunjil being the creator spirit. So he flooded the bay, essentially, let the water pour in, and basically said, if you don't stop this, the water will keep coming in. And so they made agreement with Bunjil that they would start to utilise things in the old way and maintain that balance with all things. And Bunjil basically came down and placed a rock at Mornington and said, okay, the water will not pass this rock. It'll come up to this rock and it will stop there. And that rock still sits there today. The same thing really is happening today with the way that, us as a mob people today in the world, we're all about plastics and convenience, and so much so that we've let things go quite badly. And what we're seeing is sea levels rising all around the world. And what Bunurong people went through here is probably just on a very small scale what we're looking at as a future. Bunurong are saltwater people, so part of our identity is this water. Most of the bay, all the way around, is one continuous midden. And a midden is basically a cultural deposit that is almost like a kitchen where people sit. They're bringing the shellfish in from the rock in the water. They've got their fires going, they're cooking up a feed and they're having a yarn and all the things we do around our kitchen table today. And the midden deposits are basically the remnants of those fires and the remnants of those shellfish, but over tens and tens of thousands of years. There are stories, not that long back, 170, 180 years, where people could go into this water in certain points and pull out 3 or 4 good-sized eating crayfish in 25 minutes, half an hour. And show me a part in the bay where you can do that today. When we do archaeological work along the bay, once we get down quite deep, we could be talking 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. The shells are huge. They're not quite dinner plate size, but they're big shells. You can't find shells like that in the bay these days. I just think it's interesting over such a short period of time that you can't go and get crayfish. You can't find shellfish like that anymore. And we got a whole lot of other problems that are sort of all layering on top of each other and having a pretty bad effect on the water, which would be affecting everything that lives in that as well, which in turn affects us. I mean, we're all connected. I feel an obligation that goes back longer than I've been here to look after it and to get people involved in it. It's just a really special part of Bunurong country. I want people to get out, I want them to put their iPads down, I want them to go out and get wet in the bay, enjoy, explore. That's what it's doing, it's protecting so you can do that. But look after it, look after it. We see in just a couple of 100 years how much impact we can have. I think everyone needs to understand that when they're on Bunurong country, that's everyone's responsibility to care for country like we do. It's where we live, and if we don't look after it, then we just don't know what it's going to look like in the future.